after leveling up, playing, you know, struggling as Yotei, this is what I've come up with. So we're going to give them some theme and some options, okay? Some toolboxy options, some things that they can do. It's not necessarily, this rework's not necessarily to make them jump up like a tier in power, right? A lot of these clans, their struggle, the fact that they are weak or in a tough situation is kind of a part of what defines them. It's part of their identity, you know? So if you just start throwing away, you know, not throwing away, throwing gold tactics and gold traits at every clan that's got a problem, then you rob them of all their identity. You know, if everyone's special, then no one's special. Yotei and Yoshiharu. So Yotei, pretty straightforward. We gave him Bowman, of course, and Revival trait. So as you lose castles, you will lose castles. Your stats go up for a year. You know, for a year you get a small buff. As the fight gets more desperate, your stats go up. I mean, thematically, it's excellent. Also gave him Way of the Mori, okay? And also the same thing for Yoshiharu. So the best way of that I could give the Rokkaku. Not every clan needs a way of, but for this clan it makes sense. Because they're so dependent on the tribes in the region, which they have access to 4 tribes actually. I always forget about this one here. But they have access to 4 tribes in the 67 start. If you're playing 70 or 72, you only have access to 1, but it's the strongest one. No matter which way you look at it, you need tribal help. Buffing the tribes with Way of the Mori is really good. Increases their numbers, which means they'll break a lot later on in the fight. They'll hold on a little bit longer. It doubles on the world map, using the tribes to just slow down the Oda, specifically, because that's who's coming for you. Miyoshi might, but Oda specifically. Using the tribes to buy you time on the main map where they can't break, where they can just take hits for you. Very, very good. So you want to give them Way of the Mori. That you kind of want that to be their official unique way of. So Yotei and Yoshiharu both have Way of the Mori. You also want to edit it in. So again, Yotei, Bowman, Revival. His son, same thing, Revival. He already has On the Offensive. We tacked on Immovable. Immovable is actually like a small defensive buff. It's a defensive buff on the go, okay? And then his Death or Glory, we upgraded it to Silver. Blue Death or Glory is really safe, really vanilla. It's actually like weird. I feel like Death or Glory in this game should only exist in Silver and Gold. This is a really strong buff. Potentially it can blow up in your face because of the loyalty decrease. And I like the difference here between father and son. You know, it's subtle, but it's there. You know, the father has Strength of Years, which Koei set this up wonderfully. They hit the nail on the head with Strength of Years. This is a guy who's literally trying to keep everybody together, keep everybody happy, you know? So it increases the loyalty of your officers who have been there for a while. That's just, you don't even need to touch it, you know? But Yoshiharu, Silver Death or Glory, we have, you know, it just fits his theme. He still wants to keep things going, but he's a little bit different from his dad. He's a little bit more deathbound, you could say. A little bit more deathbound. He's ready to die for the cause 100%. So yeah, so that's father and son. So starting with Sadahide, the father, we've changed his single trait that he had, which was Statesman, which is for road work. I mean, it's a total wasted space of a trait and everything. Instead, we gave him Utmost Devotion, Self-Defense, and Eloquence. Utmost Devotion and Eloquence really touch on his serving as a mediator during the Kanoji riots. You know, kind of like a political guy who's kind of doing whatever he's got to do for the clan. And then Self-Defense just being a theme that I wanted to give the Gamo retainers. So, totally 3 brand new traits for him. Got rid of Statesman, gave him those 3. And then we have Kadahide, who we gave Self-Defense. Just added Self-Defense, still has a blank trait. And then Shigetsuna also gave him Self-Defense. So all 3 of your Gamo retainers have got that +5 to defense in combat. You can stack them all together and get level 3. self-defense. So get it up even higher, which I think is level 9. I want to say that's plus 9 defense. It might even be higher. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. But you can stack it together. You can scatter them, right? And make sure that everyone in your units has self-defense, has a small increase to their defense. You know, it's up to you. Keep the family together, stack it, or separate them. Another thing I did was, you can see that they have free market promoter. These two here, we gave them silver, so we upgraded it to silver. So again, a little bit of the gilded build legacy there from Sadayori's days. It can kind of live on. Shigetsune already has silver industrialist, so we just gave his father and his brother the same thing, silver market promoter. So the Gamos can maybe get your economy going in the future. Also, Shigetsune's got free market overseer, so keep that in mind, because this is kind of key for this region if you're going to develop the markets and stuff down the line. If you're going to lean into building markets, keep this kid in mind. He's you know, getting a discount on making more money. You know what I mean? This is like that's a hack right there. Anyway. Okay, so before we get to the tribes and the ninjas that are in the tribes, we've got 2 ninjas that are on the roster. So we've got Yoshimasa Takino, and we've got Mitsutsugu Ueda, who I think was part of a tribe, Sandayu's tribe in 60, but in 67 he's joined the roster officially. Anyway, these 2 ninjas we gave the tactics trait to. Very simple, flanking damage. So when it comes to the ninjas, that's going to be the focus for them, is that you want them to be able to flank. You want to give, because this clan doesn't even have that. There's nobody that has that available as a trait. This clan is very, okay, trait starved, right? It's just, also, Shigemasa used to be a killer retainer. The only reason I didn't rework him is because he's already 83. I think he passes away almost immediately. But if I was going to rework him, I would definitely give him some, you know, some better traits and stuff on the offensive, that kind of stuff. But, you know, the guy's 83. I'll leave it up to you if you want to give him some stuff. Now, getting to the tribes, this tribe appears generic. We've got Sandayu's tribe and we've got Mitsutoshi's tribe. So for Mitsutoshi over here, gave him tactics. Okay, that's it. We just added tactics. He already has plot. We just gave him tactics. That's three tactic traits. 2 here, 1 there. And then finally, Sandayu. Sandayu Momochi, we got rid of flattery. He had the flattery trait. We gave him Warrior Hachiman. Now, Warrior Hachiman causes confusion when you're caught in a pincer attack. Okay, so basically this is like the ultimate version of tactics. You know, this is what it's building up to. With all these ninjas trying to flank and stuff, you've got Sandayu, who benefits the most from this flanking. Now, he has 2 other officers in his unit. Masayasu, who we gave tactics to, so that's 4. And Joun, who we gave self-defense to. So these 2 guys have an extra trait that's going to add on to Sandayu's. So when Sandayu goes to March, right? Now, it's all kind of a buff for Sandayu. It just doesn't look like it at face value. So you see Warrior Hachiman, but he's also getting access to tactics, which is going to be at level 3. Level 3. And Joun is going to give him self-defense, which is going to help a little bit with his low defense. His leadership is at 61. So it's actually kitting him out even better. Now, you could make him stronger. You could say, I don't want the Warrior Hachiman. I'll just give him Astonish. Whenever Sandayu engages somebody, he instantly confuses them instead of having the pincer requirement. But, you know what I mean? That's up to you. I personally want the theme a little bit more than just the straight power creep on that one. But Joteis' situation is pretty dire, so you could change it. You could give this other tribe boss over here Warrior Hachiman, and then you have 2 tribal bosses that have it, or give them both Astonish, and still fit that flanking theme with your ninjas, where your ninjas want to just pierce and just, you know, not really fight a fair battle, quote unquote, right? That's kind of what I wanted to capture with them. But yeah, that's it. That's the rework. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We just gave them, again, Way of the Mori. is going to buff up these tribes so that your tribes fight harder. They're going to have flanking bonuses, you know, from all the tactics. Your army's going to have some flanking bonuses. You have the revival trait, so as you're fighting this desperate battle, you're losing your castles. You're getting a buff to revival. You've got self-defense to increase your guys so that they can survive a little bit longer throughout your retainers. You can make the switch. You could pull the plug at any time and say, okay, you know what? Let's retire Yotei for his son. We'll still keep the revival trait active, but let's get more retainer loyalty. I need more retainer loyalty, you know? Or remember that Yoshiharu's already a senior officer, so you could turn on Death or Glory whenever you want and go for broke. You know, put it like, for example, you lose your castle, because this is, I'm working it through right now. You lose your castle, you get the revival trigger, you get a bonus to your stats, you turn on Death or Glory, you double down on the bonus, and then you just charge in for a big medium authority battle. You know, maybe after the battle's over, you just say, all right, let me turn this shit off before I collapse, you know? You can ride that high of revival and pairing it with Death or Glory, and it would be on brand, which is the most important thing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this rework. Like I said earlier in the video, I'll have a link down below so you guys can see Yotei struggle. We did 1572, I want to say, on that, which was a last stand. He only had one castle, and we had to fight against Nobunaga. Definitely go check that out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care, everybody.